welcome to the Economic Times Global Business DisruptX TV series, wherein we showcase trailblazing enterprises that are transforming India's business landscape. In this special episode, we present you a company that's redefining India's cryptocurrency arena, WazirX. Digital cryptocurrency is, of course, increasingly being coined as the Internet of Money. For the benefit of our viewers, help us better understand the term by breaking it down in layman language.
I think it's a lot like explaining the internet itself. There's no one single definition or explanation to it. It's different for different people. But I think the basic concept, which is very important to understand, is at the core, the blockchain, for example, it's just an open ledger where you can write entries of who owes whom what amount. And that's where the whole concept of Bitcoin emerged, where today, if I want to look into the whole Bitcoin blockchain, for example, it's open for me or anyone in the world to look into. So it's an open distributed system, and it's not owned by one bank or central authority. It's owned by everyone who's part of the network. So let's say there are 10,000 people in the network. All 10,000 of them own a copy of that whole ledger, and all of them together validate new entries. So it's like, that's where the term decentralization comes, where you don't have one company or one entity owning the records on the database. Every one of us can write into it, and every one of us can read from it. And with this innovation, what happened is you no longer needed like a bank or a government to issue currencies or any assets anymore. And it started with that concept of currency, but then soon the world realized that with this same technology, you could do a ton of other things. For example, you might have heard of Ethereum. That's where you can run a computer program without needing, let's say, a server on an Amazon or a Google. You could run it on the blockchain, which means once you write something, it will live on the blockchain forever. So these are the kind of innovation that is happening today. And I think the biggest reason why everyone's so excited about it is because if you look at the traditional financial system, it's all constrained by geography. What I mean is, let's say if we are in a financial system, it's only India specific. If you're in the US, you're in the US financial ecosystem. But crypto and blockchain, they've created one global financial ecosystem, very similar to how the internet is global, not related to the country you're in. And that's why it's called the Internet of Money. What internet did to information, blockchain and crypto are doing to the whole financial ecosystem. And that's where everyone's excited, because instead of being constrained to your geography, now you can be in a financial ecosystem which is global in nature. And that's where everyone's excited about it.
WazirX is, of course, widely considered to be the country's safest and simplest digital currency exchange. But what makes it so in your view?
The first most important thing is we are in an industry which is not regulated. And one of the things we realized that in an unregulated market, trust and safety of your funds is going to be the most important. And this is where we focus on. For example, the first important thing that we did differently is before WazirX, founders of crypto exchanges were sort of anonymous or not known. And when you're using a product where your money is involved, your wealth is involved, you need to know who the people are behind it. So I took it on myself to go out there and be in front of people and talk about this technology and talk about our exchange. So that was the first thing, be human. Instead of just being a brand, be in front of people. The second is ensuring that you are compliant. Even though there are no regulations, you could always try to do a few basic hygiene related stuff, like, for example, KYC, AML policies, making sure your customer funds are safe, industry best practices in terms of how to run an exchange, look at the global players, look at what is happening around the world and incorporate those things. So we've done that. The third most important thing, I think, was how do you, cater to your customers. For example, we have support on not just email, but on chat, on phone. And phone, in fact, is one of the first in the industry. So ensuring that, you're always available to your customers through your support systems and through your social media activities. That's the third thing. And the fourth most important thing is communication. We've always been transparent, right from the day we were building. In fact, even before launching, we spoke about the fact that we'll be building an exchange. How do you want it to be built? And we started asking people about the features they wanted. So we were very transparent with our communication.
Well, Nishal, if we were to take a look at the competitive landscape for a moment, what do you believe differentiates WazirX from the competition? And which segment of the market do you believe that the company is best positioned to serve?
I think for us, it's our mission has been very simple: make crypto accessible to everyone in India. So whether you are someone who's not into crypto at all and you want to enter the crypto ecosystem, WazirX starts there for you, to ensuring that as you go deeper into crypto, you can then do more with it, and we are there to cater to that as well. For example, we started with an exchange, but then we realized that people also wanted to get into what's the new term today is NFTs, where people wanted to buy NFTs. So we launched an NFT platform as well. Now we are hearing that people want to get into an exchange which is decentralized, because that's where the products are going now. They're becoming more and more decentralized. So we are now building a decentralized exchange as well. So I think the demographic for us is anyone who's into crypto, right from entering into crypto to using that crypto for various activities. We want to be there for our customers. In terms of differentiation, I think right from day one, like I said before, one was the transparency aspect. That was very important for us. We've been always transparent in our communication, in what we do, how we build things. The second is the quality of the products. So before we launched, we realized that problems that people face in this ecosystem were products that were not really up to the international standards. So we made sure that when we build, we'll hold ourselves to international standards and make sure that we give a product that is on par with that. And we've been able to do that, which is also the reason why we grew so fast. The third is innovation. Now, while everything is a financial product in the crypto space, and everything is if it's an exchange, it's an exchange. You might have 10, 20 exchanges. How do you differ yourself? That's where we focus on the India market. Because you could say that, why don't you open up to every other country? Because it's the same concept. But India has its own specific set of needs and expectations from a product, in terms of communication, in terms of what features people in India might need. And it will be different from the rest of the world. So we focus on the India market. And I think these are the things that differentiates us.
Absolutely, Nishal. And I'm perhaps stating the obvious here, but there is a learning curve for end users to buy, sell, store, and consume digital currencies. And that must pose a challenge to the company and to your competitors as well. How do you go about addressing that in the space that you compete in?
Absolutely. And I think that's a very important question to address is it's a new market. And, while there's enthusiasm, the biggest problem is the lack of understanding, lack of knowledge, not just in users, but also in the regulators, in the law, lawmakers, everyone. So we've, right from day one of the most important thing we've done as an initiative is the education initiative. And we've taken a slightly different approach. So one direction was, why not just teach everyone? But what we've done is we've sort of focused more on partnering rather than just teaching ourselves. We said we are good at building an exchange, but let's help people who want to educate others. And so we have this WazirX education partners program. For example, there are startups which are in the education sector for crypto. So we sort of collaborate with them. We push their products to our users, whoever wants to learn it. The other is partnering with media. In fact, I've gone to a large extent. I've personally been interacting with a lot of people in the media to educate them, because when the media understands, I believe, is when people understand better, because that's where you can address and reach a larger number of people. So that's helped a lot. Today I think I'm really glad to say that a lot of journalists in the country understand crypto. They have a deeper understanding of crypto.
Absolutely. And if you could give us a step-by-step breakdown of how you went about building an ecosystem around the WazirX platform.
It's been over 3 years now, and building an ecosystem does not, it's not like you start one fine day and say, tomorrow I'm going to build an ecosystem.
Absolutely.
It's a long-term journey where you have to go one step at a time. For example, first is lead by example, which means, like I spoke about the education partners program, we took the first step to go and partner with others in the ecosystem instead of just waiting for them to come to us, making sure that sort of you have APIs, you have resources available for others to build on top of you. Right in the beginning, we had our prizes. For example, the token prizes. It was always public for anyone to pull in and build, and we saw a lot of developers building based on the prize feed that they could get from our exchange. The other part of the ecosystem is, and the most important part, in fact, is ensuring that you take your users with you. For example, even before we launched WazirX, we did a token airdrop program where we gave away 15% of our tokens to our customers, our early adopters, for free. And this was all you had to do was sign up and you get the tokens. And this, we believe, is the way where you build a community driven product. And when you build a community driven product, what happens is it attracts others also to the ecosystem, instead of being just a company that's here to just sign up people and just build products. We realized that we had to build a community. So we've been able to do that as well. And I think all of this is a culmination which leads to that entire ecosystem that you eventually see.
It's time for a short break, but the Economic Times Global Business Summit DisruptX TV series continues on the other side. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Economic Times Global Business Summit DisruptX TV series. We're in conversation with one of India's most trusted cryptocurrency exchanges, WazirX. Walk us through the numbers and give us a sense of the growth that you've experienced in your user base and how much of that growth is strategic versus organic.
We started the year with about 1 million customers, and we were really happy about it. But now, knowing what you've seen, the crypto explosive growth of crypto, we've reached 8 million users in just 9 months. So it's about a 8x increase in the number of people who use our product today. And I would say majority of this has been organic. We do not spend heavily on acquiring customers. So we do partnerships, but that's more for education and branding. I think one of the other important numbers to understand is the demographic of in terms of cities. For example, the 2017-18 to 2020 time period, we saw a lot of signups from the metros. This year, surprisingly, we are seeing a lot more signups. About 55% of the signups are from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Now, that's a very good thing for crypto, because it shows that crypto understanding and knowledge is spreading across India. It's not just concentrated in a few of the major metros, and that's something that we've been really surprised. We see about $3 to $4 billion worth of trading every month. That makes us also the largest crypto exchange in India. We have over 50% market share in the country today. Similarly, in terms of I think liquidity, which is the most important, because when you want to buy crypto, you need to have enough sellers on the other end. So we have the highest liquidity in the INR market today. So yeah, I think the numbers have been really amazing. The growth has been great, and it's not just our growth, but I think even the ecosystem has grown. For example, today in India, I think there are maybe 18 to 20 million people who own some form of crypto, and the wealth of this crypto is 15 to 20,000 crores. So it's a large market, but there's still a long way to go, because India has a lot more online population, and I'm sure that everyone is going to someday own at least a small part of some crypto that they believe in.
Well, Nishal, that makes for a nice segue to my next question, which is that the market for digital assets in this part of the world, it's been a bit late to bloom, I think. And so do you view that as a challenge or an opportunity within the four walls of WazirX?
I think it's a bit of both. It's definitely an opportunity, but there are also challenges with it. I would have loved to see India participate even faster, but I think it's not yet too late. And we're probably still at the right time. Though in terms of regulation, we are slower, but it's a good thing that the government has started talking about it. Though regulations are going to take longer. If you look at the whole global landscape as well, not many of the large countries have yet regulated crypto. They're also still discussing. So it's not too late for India. In terms of opportunity, I think the good thing is, since we are all here, and if you are someone who's getting into crypto just now, you're still early.
In your view, Nishal, is there a direct link between the pandemic and the recent surge in digital currency pricing?
Absolutely. In fact, I think the pandemic has sort of been responsible largely for the rapid growth of crypto that you've seen in the last 1 to 2 years. And I tell you why. The most important thing is what happened in the pandemic was the lockdown, where people were in their homes locked up, and what that led to was a increase in the time spent online on the internet. And when you spend time online, a few things you could do is, one is you could just pass time by just going through funny stuff on the internet, or you could be working, or you could be learning. And we saw a lot of people learning, and this is where they took to crypto, because crypto was that new shiny thing, and it still is, where you have heard about it, but you really do not know what it is unless you read about it. So we saw a ton of people reading about crypto, learning and educating themselves, which is where these rapid growths, like what we spoke about, 1 million users to 8 million users on WazirX in about 8 to 9 months. I think that was a culmination of people learning and educating themselves about crypto. So that's been one very important, I would say, outcome, a good outcome of the pandemic. The second is, we saw a lot of institutional players also getting into crypto during the pandemic, and the reason was probably the global inflation that's happening right now, where they see Bitcoin as that hedge against inflation, because Bitcoin is limited in number. So there's no inflation in Bitcoin. And this, a lot of institutional players, in fact, now even countries are getting into it. El Salvador is buying Bitcoin. So you're seeing that participation increase, and it's again an effect of the pandemic, I believe. So quite a few things have happened, which have really helped the crypto ecosystem, I would say, during this whole pandemic.
Do you believe that digital currencies will emerge as an asset class that investors begin to consider more seriously in their attempts to diversify their portfolios going forward?
Whoever is investing in crypto, they're definitely serious about it. And those on the fringes, they're probably waiting for a few reasons. One is either, non-believers for sure. The second is the lack of regulatory clarity. And the third is just the lack of understanding and knowledge about it. So I would say it depends on people's risk appetite. Though companies have started investing, countries have started investing, I think it's still a new technology. It's still a nascent industry with maybe 10 years of timeline until now. So if you are going to get into it, I would say understand your risk appetite and diversify accordingly. If you want to get into crypto and you have a lower risk appetite, maybe go 5 or 10% of your investment into that and spread it across various crypto. But I think a lot more people are looking at this as a diversification, because on one end you have all the traditional financial assets which are centralized or not really mobile, if you think about it. And then you have a new asset class, which is all you need is a mobile phone and an internet, which means it has a larger a population that can access it. And if the history of the internet is to be seen, there's always greater adoption for things that don't have a barrier to entry. There's no other service or product in the world in the financial ecosystem which has a lower barrier to entry than crypto. So that's something that we should be aware of. And I think the fact that there are about 100 billion people in crypto today, but 4.7 billion people on the internet. So it's just 2% of the internet population which has adopted. I think that gives you that great opportunity to be an early mover in the space and maybe diversify a bit.
And do you believe that cryptocurrencies have the potential to revamp our country's financial ecosystem and infrastructure in the future? And if so, what role do you anticipate WazirX will play in this whole equation?
Maybe I'm not sure if the word is revamp, or I think maybe enhance. I believe it's here to enhance the whole financial ecosystem. Look, we have a very solid financial system today already in India in terms of UPI, our banking. It's one of the best in the world. But now, if you look at the penetration of, let's take, for example, the bank accounts in the country, that's really low. There are about 100, 200 million people in India who are unbanked, or more number of people. The reason is because the traditional financial infrastructure cannot reach them. For banks to reach every village in the country, it's going to take longer. And if you look at crypto, all you need is a mobile phone, and then you can install an app, which means crypto has the potential to get all of these unbanked population onto the digital economy. And that really helps India progress as well. The other is crypto is 24/7. And that's a gift to many people, because you might have your regular job during the day, but in the evening, late evenings, early mornings, you could still participate in crypto. Weekends, you can participate in crypto. So this is again pushing for greater adoption. I think overall, it's a game changer for sure.
Well, Nishal, I must add that pioneering a technology that's facing significant regulatory challenges, it poses a unique hurdle of sorts. So that said, at WazirX, where does your team draw its inspiration and its entrepreneurial spirit from?
So I think we are and have always been tech driven and motivated by the technology that we work on. And here you have crypto, which and blockchain, which is such an amazing technology that the lack of regulatory clarity today does not really bother us too much. Sure, if there was more clarity, if it was more clear, I think we would see a lot more startups in the country. But I think that should not stop any of us, because it's a lot like the internet. If you look back at the internet did not start with regulation. In fact, it's still not completely regulated. And we believe that's a similar path that crypto is going to take. You can't expect crypto regulations to come in the immediate future, and you cannot expect it to come all together. What will happen is crypto regulations will be coming in parts and pieces, where some aspects of crypto might get regulated. But if you stay on the sideline saying, let me wait till regulations come in, you could not even build any internet product even today. So I think getting into this early is something that we've always consciously decided. And if you're an entrepreneur, you should definitely look into this technology. And if the technology excites you, you should definitely get in and be ready for adjusting and changing direction as the regulatory landscape changes. But I don't think you should stay on the sidelines with such an amazing technology, and India needs to participate in this. We are a tech nation. Our progress in the last 10-15 years has been technology. So how can we as a nation let go of something so innovative when the rest of the world is building? I think these are the things that have pushed us and kept us motivated.
Fair enough, Nishal. We want to congratulate you on all of your success so far, and we wish you all the best as far as the future. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Well, that brings our special feature on the Economic Times Global Business Summit DisruptX TV series to a close. Thanks for watching.